Welcome back to Plots and Reviews. My name is Bree. It's great having you here today. Let's get to the point. So I almost broke my nail. I wanted to discuss books that take a risk and that are risky. What I mean by that and why I enjoy it when authors take a leap of faith and manage to come up with something that's very interesting. So the 3 books I want to discuss today, I'm just thinking to ensure it's 3. It may be 4. The 3 or 4 books I want to discuss today. Let's start with my latest read, The Lord of the Masquerade by Erica Ridley. And if you're going to be one of those people like, your flyaway hairs. Yes, I have flyaway hairs, okay? I have flyaway hairs. What? Erica Ridley and Lord of the Masquerade. If you just have a look at the cover, you can see why this could have been risky. It is the first book of hers that I have actually seen that had a dark skin, a dark skinned. She is of Afro descent, but we know that there are people of Afro descent that can be Caucasian passing. She's one of these, okay? As far as the description, she's one of these, but she's of Afro descent, and she is one of the first ones I have seen written by Erica Ridley that is of this type. Risky because since the show, and it was a show, people. It was a show. Like, calm down. Since the show The Bridgertons, where the Duke was also of Afro descent and was sexy, people were having heart attacks, apparently, online. I am just so grateful that I happened not to be in this part of Bookstagram where that was happening, but it was happening, and it was also happening all over the internet, and I came across it, and I was like, how dumb are you? And I say this because these shows, historical romance novels, are not realistic. Dude, 1800s in London, no toilets, a bunch of diseases running rampant, okay? Like a conflagration of diseases running rampant, okay? People not bathing. And we are supposed to believe, like, oh, when they removed their clothing, that there wasn't this horrible funky scent. But you want to have a problem with an author that decides to write about someone who has Afro descent, or decides to put an Afro descendant in their show where everything looks super clean. 1800s, 1900s, 1700s, London? Are you okay? No, are you okay? Because you cannot be okay. Are you okay? Okay. So she did that. She has her leading lady as this Afro descent girl who makes some very valid points. She is a very interesting character. I believe she's like uber modern, going into futuristic, but she's enjoyable. She's really nice. The hero, he is lovely, Julian. He's really entertaining, really engaging. They have chemistry. I was going to be like a type of chemistry, but they have chemistry that is fun. They both challenge each other, and they both push each other to succeed, which I really like. And that's why I gave this book a 5 out of 5. It was worth it. It was worth the leap. She did a great job. The Unraveling by Benjamin Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but that's his name. Benjamin Rosenbaum. If you've seen my previous video, you know I had an issue with the main character, Fifth. One of the main characters, Fifth. And honestly, this is one of the reasons I did not give the book a 5 out of 5. It's a bit petty, but I cannot give the book a 5 out of 5 if I do not like all elements of the book, okay? And this isn't necessarily in comparison to the other books, but it's as a standalone. Assessing this book, did I like it? Did it work for me? This kid did not work for me. One of the main issues I had with it, with the main character, is that compared in a society, right? Again, it's fiction. It has like, it's fiction fantasy. You have a society of persons living until they're 800, right? Let's say it's relatively new. People were living before until they're like 500. but now people are living longer. And childhood is considered until you're about 80. I found it even within the world of the author to have a 16-year-old who does so much and breaks so many things within the system to be somewhat unrealistic and annoying as hell. Like, I hated that child. Like, what an annoying child. I also didn't necessarily appreciate the description of the kid's skin as being muddy brown. I don't know what that's about. What do you mean the kid's skin is muddy brown? Why? What about the other? Were there any sour milk colored people running around? No. No. So why is that kid's skin muddy brown? But moving along, why was it risky? It is risky because it is a very long-winded, in a way, very elaborate. I should use a very elaborate storytelling. A very elaborate storytelling mechanism is used in the book to get us to know the world of Fu, right, where they live in Fu, and to get us to really understand the system. And it's necessary because the system is incredibly complex. It worked for me because I think the world is amazing. I like the idea of living on the ground, of having a Zion-esque / umbrella corporation, but functioning set of countries underground. And the descriptions are amazing. It's a really good book. Read it. Breaking Badger by Shelly Laurenston. So if you've seen my previous video, you know I love Shelly Laurenston. I've read every single book of hers. Every book of hers. Every single book of hers. I've read them all. And there is something to be said about an author who manages to write female characters that I love every single one of. Like, I love them all. There's not a single female character that I have been like, I don't like her. She has not existed as yet. And she will not exist. I believe in the power of Shelly Laurenston / G.A. Aiken. Okay? I believe in her power. That being said, I have seen comments of persons around who complain that her characters are very violent, that her female characters are very violent. Her female characters display a type of strength that these people don't appreciate. And again, you know, you don't have to read the book. It may not be for you. Just like people who don't like a lot of garlic in their food, you know, or a lot of salt in their food. All you have to do is ask for your food without garlic, without salt. That's the same thing. It's the same thing when you're reading. You don't have to like everything, okay? You don't have to be a part of everything. Stop trying to be a part of everything, okay? Let us have our strong, fun, out there, adventurous, brave female characters who aren't simpering, who aren't running around being like, oh my God. No, let us have our fun female characters, please. Please, let us have our fun female characters. Again, risky because her leads, even in like a fantasy fiction world where they tend to be one kind, you know, the frail one that you look at and you're like, how the hell does she have the strength to do these things? The ones that you are always told, oh, she was so brave, she was so strong. And the author still has not managed to really describe to you how this person is brave and strong, or if they do, they just mention it in passing, like, she defeated the Orc Lord, and you're like, I don't believe she defeated the Orc Lord. Shelly Laurenston shows you how she defeated. G.A. Aiken takes you through the defeat of the Orc Lord, okay? From her realizing that she would have to do something different to defeat this Orc Lord, to her showing her skills in defeating this Orc Lord. All of this is included in this woman's book, and it's so magical and it's so perfect that I cannot but love her, okay? It's hilarious. I always laugh out loud. Always laugh out loud. Love her female characters. Her male characters are hot. Her stories are engaging. And there's so much going on. There's always so much there that you can't help but be entertained. I'm trying to remember if there was another book. I'm pretty sure there was another book I wanted to discuss. I remember! Okay, FOUNDRYSIDE by Robert Bennett Jackson. Or is it Robert Jackson Bennett? Let me check. Fungicide by Robert Jackson Bennett. Okay, so Fungicide, you have this, again, fantastical world, somewhat intricate, quite a bit going on. You have these worlds where people control how the access to certain technologies that allow the world to function. And they're basically 4 houses and giant communities that control this. The book focuses on a outcast who manages to get her hands on something that she should not possess and that she was told not to open. She opens it and all hell breaks loose. Why is it risky? One of the things that Robert did is that he made the character, you know, the typical short, tiny, frail female. Oh, she manages to be so strong, blah, blah, blah. She's dark. She's described as having dark skin. And she's ugly. And her, but I had some issues there again, which is why I did not give it a 5 out of 5. Because then you had this old, basically pervy, nasty man, right? Who kept on harping out that, oh, she's so ugly, she's so ugly, she's so ugly, Sir, we know she's ugly, okay? We have read the book. We know she's ugly. Everyone who looks at her is like, oh, she's so ugly, she's so ugly, she's so ugly. She's so dark, she's so stocky. She's stocky and very slim. She can't really eat, right? She has a problem in sensing things when she eats and when she touches things. So she has an aversion to food and she doesn't really eat that much. So she's extremely skinny. And yes, she's ugly. Why is it risky, sir? Why is it risky? It's risky because you have a character that doesn't necessarily fit the mold. On top of it, she is a lesbian. She is attracted to another of the female characters, obviously, who is, of course, beautiful. Everybody else is beautiful or interesting looking except for this one female. And I sort of had a problem with that because I'm like, why can't you make her like a super attractive dark girl who is very skinny? Why was that hard? But anyway, very good story, interesting world, worth the read. Yeah. And that's it. Those are some books that I have recently come across that are risky or have risky elements, but that I enjoy. And I appreciate the fact that there are authors out there who are not writing for the masses. They're writing for persons like myself, you know, who at the age of 72, I have read so much. And so many of the stories are so repetitive that when you come across something that is unique or even has a sprinkle of a difference, it gives you this sort of like, it's sort of enchanting, you know, sort of like, oh, how sweet, look at this little element, I love it. And that's necessary. So I appreciate these authors who are trying new things, are doing new things, and are catering to persons who may be different, who may like different things, and are doing a very good job at it. Very good job at it. The ones who aren't, you know, again, keep adding your stories because the names in your stories may change, the worlds may change. The descriptions of the hair colors may change. Yeah. But anyway, now and then, please try something new. And yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. It's been great having you here. Remember to follow me on Instagram, Goodreads. I'm working on a YouTube video that's going to be interesting, hopefully. It's a lot of work, but I'm really trying to like get that out there. But yeah, message me. I love having discussions. Tell me what you're reading. Let's discuss. All right. Bye-bye. Thanks.